Hello everybody and welcome to another StarCraft 2 cast by Imperator Z. Did you see that split? That's the real thing, baby. We have a game on our hands between Marabau on the lower hand of the map and VeeRod on the upper side. As you can see, that's my sentence I'm always using. As you can see, phrase more like, as you can see, there's a Protoss versus Zerg on our hands. Again, this appears to be an old version of the game. I don't know why people keep uploading old replays to sc2replay.com. I'd really love it if you guys sent in some replays made with newer versions, because that way I could show you the cool overlays. But at least this one has a timer, so it could be worse. This is a platinum level game, by the way, which is my league. But these people are probably already better than I am, because I'm scratching at the lower end of platinum and will probably be demoted soon, because I haven't been playing enough, I haven't kept up on my training, and frankly, my macro sucks. My macro sucks, even though I play Zerg. I usually lose all my Protoss versus Zergs, just because. Protoss, they usually turtle up against me, and I let them do their thing, and then the death ball rolls me. I don't get the good units up, I don't get the Corruptors Broodlords up in time, and then I just get mauled. Still, I know it's my fault. And yeah, we have an expansion going up by the Zerg. Overlord spreading around, trying to find the opponent's base. Meanwhile, the Protoss is just macroing up. This is no Forge Fast Expand we have here. This is just standard one base play. We might see an expansion, we might see some sort of 4-gate. Would be a strange 4-gate though, with two extractors or the simulators already up. We have one extractor coming up for our Zerg. Appears he went hatch first. People don't usually do that against Protoss anymore, because their hatchery usually gets blocked and then they will be behind, so I would suggest you go pool first. Guess if you want to. It'll put you behind economically, so you should try to at least do some damage. But since the Protoss is staying on one base, the Zerg should be okay. Of course I say that, but I've lost so many times when the Protoss just stood on one base and didn't do anything cheesy. I expected DTs or strange Stargate rushes and everything, and then the Protoss just came in with a big, huge, giant army and killed me. That's the problem if you expect too much trickery, folks. And the Zerg, our VeeRod buddy, he's doing the correct thing. He's scouting. He just saw some of the buildings, he saw the simulation core, he saw that was built up the ramp. So he knows there's no expansion yet, though there might actually be one soon. Doesn't look like it. We have 3 gateways and a robo coming up. That's actually too much to support on one single base. And probes have been cut. No more probe production. The Zerg has 4 links out. That's the number you do want to make when you're not really sure what's going on and you don't want to overcommit. Now he's making more links. I don't really agree with this. He should be building drones right now. And if Marabau did build his probes right now, he would be way ahead pretty soon. But he's not. He's using the Chrono Boost on the Immortal he's building. Sentry coming up, 2 Stalkers. Warp Gate's gonna be finishing relatively soon. And there we have some links sitting in the middle of the map and waiting for something to kill. But Marabau, he's not really fine with that. He's leaving his units in his base and just can't really call it macroing up. He's still not building any probes. The Zerg's got it though. He's building drones now. It's a bit late. It's way too late. And as he saw that there was no expansion and there still isn't one at 7 minutes in the game, he's starting to suspect stuff. An actual 4-gate would have hit by now, even the slower 4-gate that you do on the 2 gas. And our Zerg buddy, he doesn't know about the 2 gases, so anything could be coming. And really, this should be more than 1 Spine Crawler by now. And he's got the 2 extractors up here, he's got the 2 extractors up here, but he's not mining from either of those. And he's sitting on 30 drones. That's way too few. We have a queen sitting on 34 energy without a single inject having gone off. Now it just went off. We have this queen. It looks like it's been injecting sort of regularly because, well, now it's not anymore. Probably built them too late. You can see his money's piling up, which it really shouldn't be at this point in the game. He has his lair up. The Spire has come up. Usually not something you want to do against Protoss, but against this composition, like 10 mutas are gonna kill everything. He just has to take care of the Stalkers, and then the sentries are just gonna tickle the Mutalisks, and that's not gonna help much. Mutalisks, they are not ticklish. They are not ticklish. Army-wise, we have our Protoss way ahead. If you disregard his appallingly bad probe production, he's not macroing badly. He does not have too much money. You just saw the money pile up a bit before, but that's just because warp gates, they build in waves. Zerg do that too, but I suspect that if I select these units now, the resources will be too high. Actually, I was wrong, but that's just because, well, appalling drone saturation for our Zerg buddy as well. We have some harassment going on with 5 mutas. I'm starting to doubt this is a platinum level game somehow. I mean, this is just not enough stuff to have at 10 minutes for either player. The Mutalisks, if they don't leave right now, they are all gonna die. Our Protoss buddy still way ahead in units, even though he does have way too few drones. It's got 19 drones now, probes, sorry. I'm way too Zergy for this game. For this casting thing anyway. He's got 19 probes and he's not building anymore. He's not building anything, he's just attacking. Let's see his vision. Actually he has his vision on his base. He's saturating his assimilators again. He noticed he has no gas. Always be sure to have your gas. And both players concentrating on their battles. I guess for the Zerg player I can see it because his mutas might just die if he doesn't concentrate on it, but since it just appears to be A-moving, does it really matter if he's looking at the units while they die? It does not. He should be back at his base, injecting, doing stuff. He should not be doing this. We have the entire army of Marabau pulling back, waiting for the Zerg to macro up something that can kill them, because for now he's not doing so whatsoever. Against this composition, simplest thing would be to build lots of Zerglings and try to bait out or ride out, maybe kill with the Mutalisks those sentries so they can't be force-fielded. And then this will die against just maybe 20, 30, 40 Zerglings that are +1 or something. Speaking of, neither player has upgraded up to now, really. The Zerg has just started. He's got the +1 upgrade for the Mutalisks, which is not helping because he's not macroing up a giant ball of them, but instead he's content to sit on his now 34 drones. Wow, he really has been droning up now. And he's just sitting on way too many resources. I will bet you now that he has not been injecting. And I am right, the queen is at almost 100 energy. This is more than 100 energy, and he's just looking at this fight. He shouldn't be looking at the fight. Should be looking at this base, or shouldn't even be looking at it, but just injecting. Just inject. Injecting is a good thing. You should either hotkey your queens or just bounce back between your hatcheries. Like this backspace is an option, or you could just hotkey both of them, which I've taken to doing by now. The Protoss still has the bigger army, even though he's way behind in workers, meaning he's been doing sort of well. At the last tab you can see the Zerg has been losing a tiny bit more, and here come the Zerglings. I don't think this is enough of them. I think they will all just die, but they are doing ridiculous amounts of damage. They are doing enough damage, in fact, for the Stalkers to have to focus on them, and so the Mutalisks can take care of this other stuff that's sitting on the ground. It looks like the Protoss is sort of winning this fight. He's actually way ahead in army count, but more than half of it is back at his base, and the Zerg he can just spit out. With this many resources banked, he can just spit out much more stuff if he doesn't forget his injects, which he does. Makes me sad to see it, but he is forgetting his injects. You don't want a queen at 150 energy at 15 minutes in the game. In fact, you never want to do that at all. With this energy, if you ever save up this much, which you shouldn't, you could just creep spread really rapidly and get an advantage that way, but don't plan on it. If you really want to plan on that, just get a third queen. In fact, you should be getting a third queen anyway, especially at this point in the game. You should have expanded about 3 or 4 more times. I guess this is an old replay where people didn't really know how to play, and so everything could get you into platinum. Well, today most things can still get you into platinum, but if you do try and play macro, it's gonna be sort of difficult because people know how to cheese. Or at least they know how to cheese gold or silver level players, which is not all that hard. Meanwhile, we have Marabau going in for another attack. Our Zerg hasn't been doing anything whatsoever. He's not spent his resources at all, while Marabau has been doing a very good job spending his resources. It doesn't look like it if you see the production tab, but that's mostly because almost all these units, they're being warped in, and they don't take up much time to be produced. I would betcha that our Protoss has been using his chrono boost. He hasn't. That's because he doesn't have enough workers to warrant chrono boosting. He can't afford to chrono boost. Well, he can't afford to chrono boost anything but workers, but he's not doing that either. This is kind of appalling to look at. We have more Zerglings streaming in, but by now I don't see that big of a chance for our Zerg buddy. Even though he's been doing better economy-wise, he's not being doing better macro-wise. There's a difference, folks. Economy and macro, not the same thing. Well, at least if you don't see economy as unit production, which, for now, I don't. The hatchery has gone down, a new one's coming up. VeeRod can do so easily because he's got way too much money. He's gone for an Ultralisk. They are too expensive to support on 2 bases, guys. Especially if you just straight up rush for them, and this was a rush because he didn't have any other sorts of units that would help him. We have some more Ultralisks coming up, but against this, Ultralisk aren't gonna help much. The Immortals are ridiculously good against Ultralisks, and it was straight up a bad idea to build them whatsoever. By now the worker count is just about evened up. Both players are looking at the battle. Actually, we have Marabau. Even though he did take up a probe to build a pylon, he probably got killed somewhere in the Zergling fight. So he has to build his units all the way down here, but it doesn't matter. Marabau's having fun killing bases. Who doesn't have fun killing bases? The Immortal. I'll follow this guy by now, for now. Can I somehow center my camera on it? I would like to center my camera on it. I don't know the hotkeys or whatever for it. Too bad. Too bad. We have stuff dying for our Zerg. All his production buildings have been stomped into the ground. There will be no more Ultralisks for him. At this point, there's really nothing he can do. So let us fast forward to the rest of this horrid thing. Spreading his overlords like a boss. Like a boss. He's rescuing the last of his drones, trying to get them to this... I won't even stoop down so low as to call it a base. He's trying to build a spawning pool. For some reason, our Protoss buddy is behind in scouting. It's usually more difficult for Protoss to scout because they're not that quick and they don't have Zerglings to keep running around patrolling. One of the reasons why I really like playing Zerg, you can just have a Zergling patrolling all around and be safe from any sort of hidden expansion, macro, base, cheese. And yes, I do call hidden expansions sort of macro cheese. It usually doesn't work well and gets scouted, so it's not a very good cheese. But it does happen, and sometimes players don't notice, and then they don't know why they lose, and they call you a cheater. It has happened to me. It has happened to me. Well, I've been called a cheater because I did do the secret expansion, but that was because I was cheesed, and never mind. I might cast that one at some point because it was just a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of fun to be called a cheeser. Cheater. If you're not. Anyway. Spine crawlers, they're usually really good, but not enough of them, and we have VeeRod GGing as his secret ninja expand has been found. And, well, next up's a diamond game, then I will go to masters. If I can find any, I will go to grandmasters, and then I'll put up another one all the way back down at bronze, and I'll keep cycling through those leagues, try to find replays somewhere on the internet that people uploaded, and cast them. And if I'm sent replays to zreplays@gmail.com, those will have the highest priority and they will get casted right away, or as right away as is humanly possible on my busy schedule, of course. And yeah, so send in those replays, folks. I am starving for content, and I'm sure you are the guys to deliver it. I will cast anything you send me with a smile on my face and a happy tone in my voice. Would be cool if you could like and favorite this video or subscribe to me or whatever good things you can do to me on YouTube, and I will be grateful for that. Thank you for listening, folks, and see you next time in my next cast. Imperator Z signing out. What's the sign language thing for out? That would be like punny, pundit, overlord, borvalord. Sometimes I'm just not that funny. Sorry. I think my cat just farted.